What's going on, too? How has everybody been doing? So today we are going to talk about, is there a driver shortage? And we're also going to talk about why our drivers are quitting. So this video, this is just my thoughts, my opinion. So it's just my thoughts and my opinion. So do I think there's a driver shortage? I would say no. I don't believe it. I really don't. Reason being is freight is still getting delivered. Freight is still getting picked up. When you go to your local Walmarts, there's still products. When you go to your local gas station, there's still fuel. When you go to your local hardware store, or just whatever store you go to, there's still product there. Now, granted, certain products might be out of stock, but I wouldn't necessarily say that that's because there's a driver shortage. There's no driver shortage. Is there a pay shortage? Possibly. Is there a company shortage? Possibly. So let's talk about it. Driver shortage. This is why I don't really listen to the news on a lot of things. They say, oh, it's a driver shortage. There's no truck drivers. There's no truck drivers? Okay. Drive down your local interstates. You're going to see trucks. One way too, you'll see a lot of trucks. Go to a Pilot, a TA, a Love's, you're going to see a whole bunch of trucks. Let an interstate get shut down. You're going to see trucks lined up for miles. If you drive at night, you're going to see us all lined up outside the rest area, on the entrance ramps, exit ramps. So that's also a parking shortage, but that's for another video. But I would say there's no driver shortage. Reason being is there's dozens and dozens of CDL drivers starting school. There's dozens and dozens, maybe even hundreds of CDL drivers graduating truck school. There's several drivers that are just getting turned loose from their trainer, meaning they're now solo. So I don't believe that there's a driver shortage. I mean, if there was, your shelves would be empty. Like, if there's a real shortage, why are people going to CDL school every day? Let's touch on the mega carriers. Companies like Stevens, Swift, Warner, CR England, CRST, Schneider. Companies like those, they have orientations literally every week. I know back when I was at Stevens, if I'm not mistaken, they started new orientations, I think like twice a week. So weekly, there's new drivers coming weekly. Now, I believe, again, there's no driver shortage. I believe there's a company shortage. Certain companies, they are struggling for drivers. And I'm also tied this in why drivers are leaving the industry. So one of the reasons why drivers are quitting and why companies struggle for drivers, because some of these companies, they don't want to pay. Some of these mega carriers, they're still paying 30 to 40 cents a mile. I mean, that's really not a lot of money. If you're somebody that has real bills, I'm talking mortgage, a family, car notes, just, real adult bills, 30 cents a mile. I mean, it's really not going to cut it. It's really not, because when you factor that and total that out, that's only going to be maybe $700 to maybe $1,100, maybe. So, I mean, that's really not a lot of money. Another reason why people quitting trucking is because they just can't handle the job. Some people can't handle being away from their family, weeks at a time. And drivers, they get tired of dealing with certain things. They get tired of fighting for miles. They get tired of dealing with rude dispatchers. They get tired of dealing with four wheels. So it's just a lot of BS, that some of us truck drivers deal with, Going back to pay, some drivers, they come into the industry expecting to get rich fast, and then they get in and realize that that's not the case. Some people don't realize what they're getting themselves into. A lot of these people, they look at TikTok and at these drivers that make trucking look like it's so fun, it's so easy. But one thing about TikTok real quick, it's just a lot of things that these trucker TikTokers don't touch on, and that's for another video. And again, the industry is just not for everybody. That's why a lot of drivers are quitting. So I would say the two main reasons is they can't handle the job and they can't handle the pay. And another thing, trucking is very competitive. It's constantly drivers leaving this company to go to this company, leaving that company to go to this company. It's very competitive, and pay is a big factor, for a lot of drivers. We want to be paid. We want the good benefits. We want to be treated with respect. So if company A isn't giving this person the miles they want or the money they want or the home time, then of course they're going to go in their sleeper or they're going to go home and seek another company. There's companies out there, guys, that are not struggling for drivers. Some of your LTL companies, it's a reason why in some cases it's hard to get on, because a lot of drivers, they go LTL and they don't leave. They stay there 30, 40, 50 years and retire. Why is that? Because some of these companies, they're doing right. They're giving them the miles, they're giving them the benefits, the home time, So I would say that's one of the main reasons. So there's no driver shortage. In my opinion, it's company shortage and pay shortage, So how do we fix this? Well, it's simple. These companies need to pay their drivers, treat their drivers with respect, stop talking to drivers any old way. Now, I'm not saying that's the case at every company, but some of these companies, that's the case. Some of these companies just are not paying them, Pay them what they're worth, give them the home time that they want, And to avoid all this too, I tell you guys, and this is for my drivers that don't drive yet, make sure that this is something that you want to do. Make sure, that you do your research, Don't just go off of what you see on TikTok. Don't just go off of what you see on YouTube, You need to ask questions. So if you're interested in a particular company, get with that driver. Don't just ask one driver, ask multiple drivers. So let's say you want to go to Prime, talk to multiple Prime drivers, get a feel of the company, ask the questions. All right, y'all. So if you want to fix this, we need to pay the drivers better benefits and better home time.